Mary Lou McDonald opened her party's latest constituency office last year. Speaking outside the new headquarters of Sinn Féin TD Fiontánaigh Súilleabháin in Gorian, County Wexford, she pointed to the local importance of his election.
In the last election, you achieved something really significant in, as a team, securing the election of Fiontánaigh to the Dáil. And I hope that all of you realise the significance of that achievement.
What the Sinn Féin leadership hasn't mentioned, though, is this party TD being sued for illegally obtaining confidential data on a constituent. In the general election, Mary Lou McDonald spoke highly of her candidate in the new Wicklow-Wexford constituency.
And I ask for your number one vote for Fiontánaigh Súilleabháin in the constituency of Wicklow-Wexford. He will make a fine and outstanding advocate for your community.
Fiontánaigh Súilleabháin was elected as a Sinn Féin TD for the first time in November 2024's general election. But hanging over the new TD is the claim he made that he was helping a constituent when in fact he was breaking data protection laws. The case raises grave questions about Sinn Féin's loyalty to the Republican movement above the institutions of the state or the public. As a long-standing councillor in Wexford, O'Sullivan made what appeared to be a normal representation on behalf of a constituent back in 2019. Documents obtained by the Irish Independent showed he followed up this query with an email and the council staff got back to him with an update. Curiously, O'Sullivan was back a month later with the same query as there was a minor error in the spelling of the original reply. It's unclear why this was of concern for a standard constituency representation. But it certainly suggests the response was required for some official, administrative or legal purpose. Again, assuming this was a normal constituency representation by a politician. Wexford County Council staff again replied with the same details, with the name spelled correctly this time. In total, the Sinn Féin representative made 3 separate approaches to the council to obtain the confidential records of the woman. Politicians are allowed to make representations on behalf of constituents who they have been contacted by, but that's assuming that they have their permission. Not only is it set out in law in the Data Protection Act, but the Data Protection Commissioner has a specific booklet for politicians to allow them to carry out their democratic role, which stresses the permission of the constituent is required. Likewise, Wexford County Council has its own similar data protection policy.
Personal data shall be processed lawfully, fairly and in a transparent manner in relation to the data subject, collected for specified, explicit and legitimate purposes, and not further processed in a manner that is incompatible with those purposes.
The law, the rules and the policy are abundantly clear, but alarm bells went off here in Wexford County Council over a serious data breach when officials were contacted by O'Sullivan's constituent in May 2023, saying she had not made any request to the then councillor. After conducting an investigation, the council admitted there was a breach of personal data and formally apologised to the woman. The council said the emails containing her personal information were sent to a public representative. However, the County Council also conducted an investigation of its own and filed a report on the data breach to the Data Protection Commissioner. The investigation report says there was a confidentiality breach and unauthorised disclosure of or access to personal data, and there was unauthorised disclosure of or access to personal data of email correspondence of information relating to personal activities or family life. Wexford County Council said the councillor should have had a form giving permission for the woman's data to be accessed. Elected members seeking updates for clients require a Section 40 form to be completed, which expressly gives them consent to act on behalf of a data subject. Showing the seriousness of the incident, the council has now clamped down on its interactions with councillors wanting to see express permission from constituents. It says that Section 40 forms will need to be provided for verbal and written updates to elected members. But legal experts say a data breach of this nature is a serious development.
My name is Ronan Lupton, Senior Counsel. An elected representative, whether they be at council level or a TD or a senator, is in a privileged position, obviously, in society. They are data controllers, effectively, in their own right, where they're looking after constituent databases and so forth. But similarly, when they're interacting with, let's say, for example, a local council, the local council itself is also a data controller. So when you're dealing with elected representatives, they're in that particularly privileged position where they can, in certain circumstances, lawfully access information. But the key issue is what they do with the information. And data protection law concerns itself with information that's filed in physical form or electronic form concerning individuals. And sometimes that information can be of a sensitive nature and fall under Article 9 of the GDPR, which deals with this issue of, for example, ethnicity or biometric information or information that might give rise to something that's very sensitive about an individual. Housing list would be a prime example of that. But again, it's what the politician or even an individual employee of a council or a state body does with the information that can give rise to, for example, a data breach or a loss of control of information or something inadvertent or advertent happening that breaches the law.
The investigation by the local authority firmly identifies how the breach happened. The investigation found that council staff believed O'Sullivan was representing a constituent, but he didn't actually have the permission of the woman concerned.
In 2019, an elected member telephoned a member of the housing department and requested an update on an application for social housing supports. An update was provided by email. The staff member understood that the elected member was representing the housing client, the data subject. At the time, where representation on behalf of a data subject was verbal and of a routine nature, the request was responded to and a record of the representation was made by the staff member. This was either by email to the elected representative or by completion of a form which was then placed on file. It has now been noted that the elected member did not have the consent of the data subject.
The woman whose data was breached is now suing the council and the Sinn Féin TD for damages. She only found out during a legal dispute that personal information had been released without her knowledge.
Why did a Sinn Féin politician break the law to obtain personal information on a constituent without her permission? To understand the relationship between the Sinn Féin TD and the family at the centre of the saga, you have to go back 30 years to the last provisional IRA attack on London of the Troubles.
On the 18th of February 1996, a young IRA man called Edward O'Brien blew himself up with his own bomb on board a London bus. No one else was killed. It's thought he may have been going to bomb the nearby High Court.
Edward O'Brien was killed instantly and 7 passengers and a driver were also injured. The explosion came at a pivotal time in the peace process, as it was just 9 days after the Provisional IRA ended its ceasefire with a bombing in the Docklands area of London which killed 2 people. When word came back to Gorey in County Wexford about O'Brien's identity, his family and the community were shocked to hear the local man was a Provisional IRA member.
I say it was a classic case of a fairly ordinary kid being dragged into the sordid, depraved world of terrorism.
The O'Brien family were clear they did not know their son was involved with the Provisional IRA and wanted nothing to do with the Republican movement.
The O'Brien family unreservedly condemn all paramilitary organisations. They do not want any paramilitary involvement in the funeral of their son.
But it wasn't long before the Republican movement of Sinn Féin and the Provisional IRA would make it clear O'Brien was one of their own.
A tribute was published in the Sinn Féin propaganda newspaper An Phoblacht at the time of his death.
It is probable that not many Republicans met volunteer Edward O'Brien. Still fewer would have known him personally. Yet Republicans who have been through a long struggle and who have buried so many friends and comrades who died as he did do know intimately what motivated him, the core of his political beliefs and the dedication with which he followed them.
Gerry Adams also paid tribute at the Sinn Féin Ardèche later in 1996.
I extend our condolences also to the family of IRA volunteer Edward O'Brien. His death was a particular source of sorrow. For generations, Irish men and Irish women have resorted to armed conflict in protest against British involvement in Irish affairs. Volunteer Ed O'Brien's family were unaware of his IRA involvement. His death and the circumstances in which he died, therefore, was doubly shocking for them.
O'Sullivan is also a local historian who has written 4 books, including an account of the 1798 rebellion in Wexford. On the 200th anniversary in 1998, O'Sullivan sought to link O'Brien's actions in blowing up a bus with civilians on board with Wolftone's United Irishmen, as he wrote about the rebellion in Sinn Féin's propaganda newspaper An Phoblacht. Over the years, the Republican movement commemorated O'Brien's actions with IRA gun salutes, memorabilia, and the naming of a flute band after him. The local Sinn Féin branch in Gorey is also named after O'Brien, and he is included on the Provisional IRA's Republican Roll of Honour. Having initially shunned the Republican movement, some members of the O'Brien family have joined in the tributes to the dead bomber. Memorials from family members have appeared in An Phoblacht, but the tributes to O'Brien became hugely controversial in 2021. Ahead of the 25th anniversary of his death, Sinn Féin organised a commemoration for O'Brien, and a commemorative plaque displaying an image of the IRA bomber was created by his brother. Then Taoiseach Leo Varadkar was among those to criticise the plan when he was speaking in the Dáil.
But I do think, Deputy, it'd be remiss of me not to raise my concerns here about the commemoration being organised by Sinn Féin in Wexford in your constituency in relation to the Edward O'Brien bus bomb. This is a deeply offensive commemoration.
Sinn Féin cancelled the commemoration, but O'Sullivan defended the party's actions.
Those who participated in these things did apologise for a lot of the bad things that happened. I mean, no one is trying to drag anyone back to the past. People are entitled to remember their dead in the way they see fit. I mean, that's something that's always been respected in the Irish tradition, no matter what side you're from.
Hi, Councillor O'Sullivan here. I had some problems with my phone over the last few days. If you left a message, could you please leave the same message again?
Deputy O'Sullivan, hi, it's Fionn Sheehan here from the Irish Independent. If you could give me a call, please. We tried to get O'Sullivan's explanation for the data breach. He responded that he was in the Dáil chamber. Ironically, Mary Lou McDonald was bringing up waste of taxpayers' money that day.
It's revelation of waste after revelation of waste. The public might well ask, what's coming next and where does all of this end?
O'Sullivan, though, was less talkative to us as we asked him for a response on the case, especially as the taxpayer may now be on the hook for the breach of confidential data. Sinn Féin was also contacted to get the party's view on the case and ascertain if Mary Lou McDonald was aware of the findings of the investigation into O'Sullivan's data breach. Sinn Féin responded on his behalf, saying a party activist had asked the TD to get the information.
In May 2019, during his first term as a county councillor, Fionn O'Sullivan made a standard housing representation in good faith to Wexford County Council. The request to Fionn was made by just one person, Gary O'Brien. The response from the County Council Housing Department was forwarded by Fionn to the person who made the request.
Gary O'Brien is the younger brother of Ed O'Brien, the Provisional IRA bomber lauded by Sinn Féin. O'Sullivan has clearly known the family for years. The Sinn Féin TD's explanation is that he wasn't aware that O'Brien, a Republican and party campaigner, was separated from his wife, who was living at an entirely different address and seeking social housing for herself. Sinn Féin says O'Sullivan has apologised for the data breach.
The GDPR requirements, including Section 40 consent letters and the online portal system for housing representations, were in their infancy in Wexford Council in 2019, when this technical breach of data occurred. Fionn has apologised for his role in this breach.
The party says it was well aware of the law-breaking before running O'Sullivan in the general election.
The party and General Secretary were aware of the case being taken against Wexford County Council and Fionn prior to his selection for the 2024 Leinster House elections.
Sinn Féin's account of O'Brien's party activism is also curious. Gary O'Brien was a member of Sinn Féin until May 2021, a party spokesperson said. Funny that, because here's O'Sullivan being elected as a TD at the Count Centre in Wexford in November 2024. Among the group of supporters cheering him on as he is hoisted into the air is Gary O'Brien. So, he may not have been a card-carrying member of Sinn Féin for a few years, but he was clearly still close to O'Sullivan even after the data breach had been exposed. Mary Lou McDonald is standing by a TD who unlawfully obtained a woman's confidential records
and passed her sensitive information to her ex-husband without her knowledge.
Gary O'Brien has been to the forefront in commemorating his older brother's memory as a hero of the Republican movement. The pinnacle of these tributes came in 2019 when he attended a Republican event in Belfast where Ed O'Brien was honoured by Mary Lou McDonald and Gerry Adams.
Just weeks after he was feted as a VIP by the Republican movement, O'Brien asked O'Sullivan to get him sensitive records about his ex-wife. O'Brien continues to commemorate his brother's actions with Republicans, such as at a 30th anniversary walk in Derry, and he also attends Sinn Féin events.
So we approached Gary O'Brien to find out what he knew about his ex-wife suing the Sinn Féin TD over a data breach. Are you Gary?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Shannon Sheehan. I'm with the Irish Independent.
Right.
I wanted to ask you about Fionn O'Sullivan and a data breach in Wexford County Council. Do you know anything about it? Your ex-wife, Fionn, requested information from Wexford County Council 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And then this ended up as part of a legal case.
I don't know, I'm separated.
No, you're separated, right?
No comment, lad.
No comment.
No comment.
You didn't ask Fionn to get that information for you, did you? It was about a housing request.
No comments on, right?
Politicians hold a privileged place in our society, and we're fortunate to live in a country where ordinary citizens have direct access to their local public representatives. Part of their role is to assist people in accessing services, and the laws grant our politicians a particular place to enable them to act upon our behalf. But with that power comes responsibility. The public must be able to trust that our politicians are not abusing their status, placing one person's interests above another's. In the case of a Sinn Féin TD, it is clear the law was broken and a citizen's entitlement to have their sensitive personal information respected was broken by a public representative.